Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Sierra and I make videos that help people become their greatest, highest selves. And today's going to be a little bit different because I am joined with someone today that's one of my really good friends. Her name is Marika.
Hello.
Her name is Psycheal on YouTube and she makes videos all about holistic health, spirituality, plant medicine, travel, and things like that. So if you are interested in that kind of content, then definitely check out her channel and subscribe. We also did a video on her channel which is a little more lighthearted and fun. But today we are sitting around a campfire. We're pretty cozy right now. I really love this setup. And basically we have some questions in this jar that are all about spiritual awakening related, maybe even kind of personal development related. And we're just going to be each picking out one. We don't know which one is which, and we're just going to answer them. These questions are kind of geared to not only start interesting conversations, but just to add value to the viewers and just have fun, I guess, because I talk to her about these kinds of things all the time, so I thought might as well just make a good video out of it. So we have our tea. Go get some tea to drink with us, and I think we will start now.
All right.
So there was a specific question that we were going to start with because it was just kind of a good introduction to everything else we're going to talk about in the video. So the first question that I have for you, Marika.
Okay.
What does spiritual awakening mean to you? How does one spiritually awaken?
I guess.
I'm sorry, that's like a big question.
Yeah.
But like, answer how, like, what spiritually awakening means to you, because it might be different to everyone, right?
Yeah. I guess like a kind of general summary of it is like a moment in your life that suddenly you feel like things make sense, I guess. So maybe it's more of like an emotional thing where you kind of feel like reborn and pure, or maybe it's more like a mental thing where suddenly like everything in your life, like all the meaning of life kind of makes sense to you. It's kind of like a profound moment, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's also realizing that there is more to life than, I guess, what we're grown up to think. I was raised being religious, but then I was almost atheist at one point because I was just so confused and I didn't know what I believed in.
Yeah.
So I think spiritually awakening is realizing, hi Suki, realizing that there is a higher power, a higher force, realizing the meaning of life, the purpose of life.
So now that we have that definition, we will be answering questions based on that.
Do you think spirituality and happiness are related or independent of each other? That's a very interesting question. They are definitely intertwined. You don't have to be spiritual to be happy, and you don't have to be happy to be spiritual, right? So it really just depends on your experience, but for me personally, I always have struggled so much with depression throughout my life, and when I started going through my spiritual awakening, finally, like, there was meaning and there was purpose to my life, and I realized, like, I can do whatever I want to do in life. I can manifest anything that I want. Before, I felt like so limited, and I felt like I'm just going to be depressed my whole life. I didn't feel like there was any like higher power or any energetic force out there helping me. So my happiness increased so much when I went through my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Like I said, it can be different for everyone. It really depends on your experience.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing for most of that because I definitely think they're intertwined, but not like just because you're spiritual, you're suddenly going to be happy all the time. Because I think as you become spiritual too, you kind of realize that life is about like the yin and yang. Like you're going to have happiness and a lot of sadness, but maybe like the more in tune you become with yourself, you can kind of control it a little better or understand it a little better, but there's always going to be like the waves of life.
It's all about acceptance too. I think spiritually awakening allows you to accept the highs and lows, accept the yin and the yang in your life.
It's always going to be there though.
Exactly. I think it gives you a way to like handle the lows better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Are you scared of death? Why or why not? I feel like I'm not really scared of the concept of death. I think because like I believe that there is some sort of afterlife, and like I have confidence if there is that it will be a good place. But I think I have a little bit of fear leaving this world right now because I wouldn't want to like leave my dog or like leave my family, that kind of thing. But on a like personal level, I don't really fear death, I guess.
I think for me, I grew up being very terrified of death, and after my spiritual awakening, I became much less scared of death because I made the realization that my soul is going to live on forever, so it would just be death of this human form, right? So I no longer fear death as much. However, I don't want to die anytime soon because there's still so much in life that I haven't experienced. I would not be satisfied if I were to die tomorrow because there's so much that I haven't done. This life that I'm living is so special and so precious, and there's still so much that I'm here on earth to live and accomplish.
Yeah.
This is fun.
I know.
It's funny because I keep getting your
I know,
questions and you keep getting my questions, which is
yeah.
kind of fun. What has been your biggest difficulty during your journey, pre and post awakening? Pre-awakening, my struggle has always been just really severe depression, really severe anxiety as a result of not dealing with my emotions throughout my life, as a result of not dealing with the things that I went through as a child. It's interesting because when I first went through my spiritual awakening, I was the happiest that I had ever been in my life because everything was beautiful. I never experienced such beauty before in my life. I realized the beauty in everything, like the sky, the clouds, the trees. I realized the beauty in myself. It was so amazing, but as time went on, it was like that magical feeling started to go away. After I've awakened, it's helped me realize how much I'm out of alignment in so many areas of my life, and I think that's what I struggle with the most post-awakening, is realizing how far away I am from who I want to be and how many things are still wrong in my life, but also at the same time trying to be very grateful for where I'm at, grateful for what I've learned. It's always like a back and forth thing, you know, trying to accept what is, but also trying to be better and be more in alignment with my highest self.
I think that makes me realize or think of something that I realized lately, that like after your awakening, when you see where you need to be, the hard part isn't what you need to add or do more to your life. The hard part is actually cutting things out of your life.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's much easier to do what you know is right. But cutting out the things that have been like lifelong habits, like really toxic habits, that's what's really hard.
Yeah, because we naturally, humans, like, we get attached to things that we've carried since childhood. It makes us comfortable, and it's like so scary to come to the realization that maybe that's not serving us anymore. That's definitely what my biggest struggle right now is too, is cutting things that don't align with me out of my life.
So we're on the same page because that is my biggest struggle. So thank you for validating me.
All right, let's see. I think this is another one of your questions. Oh, yes. What's one of the biggest lessons you learned from your awakening journey? I think I could just summarize it up as like love. Like, I feel like love is just like a constant feeling or word that comes up in a lot of like my meditations, or if it's like a psychedelic trip or whatever it is. I feel like just that feeling of universal love, like
Unconditional love.
Yeah, that unconditional love from the universe, and seeing love in things and realizing that's kind of what has created all of us. I guess that's like the biggest takeaway, and that's how you kind of like harness your own happiness and I guess growth in life, is being able to give that love back and see the love that you're getting.
Do you feel like your heart was ever closed off in any way?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then I feel like that's why I couldn't see the world in its fullest form, because I couldn't accept love, and then that also made it hard to like give love.
Exactly. If you want to receive more love, you need to give more love.
Yeah.
But if your heart is closed, if your heart is blocked off for whatever reason, then it's very hard to open up and give love to others and see the universal love in everything.
Yeah, and you don't allow yourself to achieve good things or be around good things because you don't feel like you deserve it, which is not true at all, but you know, you get in that mindset.
Exactly. That's why doing inner work is so important, and that's why we talk about that a lot on this channel. All right, moving on. I'm gonna laugh so hard if I get your question again because we keep going back and forth.
I think it might be
one of yours. Do you think we go through one spiritual awakening in life or multiple? I 100% think that we go through multiple, because it really depends on where you're at in life. Like, we are always learning. There's never like one destination, one end point. You don't just like awaken once and then suddenly you know everything and you're so evolved. You know, it's a constant journey, it's a constant struggle. So if you feel like you're not where you want to be right now, or you're not, you know, aligning with the highest version of yourself, that's perfectly okay, because you're on a path. of awakening. Yeah, we definitely go through multiple, and I feel like I've already had multiple since my first.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like there are different lessons that you get from each of them too, because maybe at a certain point of in your life you needed one awakening that was going to help you with self-love. Maybe later in your life you needed something that was going to help you with your career motivation.
Yes.
So I guess it's like the universe brings you the right lessons when it's right for you.
The universe got you. Wait, did I answer the last one?
Oh, yeah. Do you believe in using outside sources like psychics and tarot? Or do you think the answers are inside ourselves? So I think for the most part, all the answers we seek are usually within ourselves. But I think tarot, psychics, all that kind of stuff can be a fun way to kind of like guide your thinking. Because sometimes you're stuck in the same thought pattern, or you feel alone, you just want an outside opinion, and I feel like that helps kind of like push you to thinking from a different perspective.
Yeah, sometimes it can help you realize things that you didn't realize before, because your thoughts can be very limited. So when you have an outside source of guidance or information, that can be really helpful, but definitely don't rely on any of those things, because everything that you need is within. Every answer that you need is within. Any strength that you need comes from within.
Yeah, definitely.
From God source energy.
We all have it in us.
Yes. I love chaga.
All kinds of like
I love the way it makes me feel.
Kind of like alert, but like chill.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. What is your most important practice to keep you grounded and inspired? So I would 100% say working on my passions, like things that mean the most to me. I just feel like every time I don't work on things that I'm passionate about, I fall into a really dark hole of depression. It's like that's what makes my life worth living.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone ever should just work on something that you're passionate about, something that you love. You don't have to like work on something, but just create something in any way, like even if that's like a poem, or I don't know, maybe you like to post creative Instagram pictures, just like creating things, like working on things that make you happy. Like what's the point of life if you're not creating and expressing yourself? I mean, there's a lot of ways to be grounded, like we could make a whole video on grounding practices, but I guess that's what I felt more called to talk about in this moment.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, especially like bringing up social media again. I feel like with the whole lockdown and everything, it's so easy to get stuck in this like routine of just like consuming all day, which was happening to me for a few months. I'd just be like consuming social media, consuming food, consuming other people's ideas, and then like at one point I'm like, why am I not feeling good about myself? And it's because I wasn't producing anything.
We're supposed to create more than we consume.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very helpful to consume helpful content and inspirational content or even entertaining content, but I think you want to be majority of the time creating versus consuming. Also, a second part to that answer, another thing that I'm actually just starting to incorporate now that I wasn't before is putting my phone away for hours at a time. So basically, I'll put my phone in a different room or like in a bag, and I'll just put it somewhere else that like I know I'm not gonna go check it. I make myself do that for hours, and I find it helps my mental health so much, because I have such a bad relationship with like using technology all the time, and just like you literally feel it like ruining your brain. Like it makes me feel so horrible and like brain foggy when I use my phone all the time. So definitely putting it away for hours at a time.
Do you think we have purposes in life? If so, have you found yours? I don't know. I feel like I'm still figuring out that question, which is maybe why I put it in there, just because I want to see like your opinion, like bounce off of it. I feel like we have like passions and like callings, but I don't think we should limit ourselves to one purpose in life.
Very true.
Like maybe some people are so talented and
put you
passionate.
in a box.
Yeah. Like it could work for some people, but I think for many people it puts you in a box and maybe like puts kind of pressure on you to be a certain way too. Whereas some people kind of just like being like a jack of all trades type of thing. And I think that's completely fine. I feel like my calling is to help people, but that's still such like a broad thing. And I think sometimes people, they'll have one passion for like 20 years of their life, and then suddenly they realize, oh, I actually want to start this other hobby of mine, and that's completely okay too.
Yeah. Pretty much what you just said, but what I would add is that I think if you feel like you don't have a purpose or you're lost about what your purpose is, I think everyone's number one purpose that they can focus on if they do feel lost is just becoming their best self. I feel like that's the point of life, really, is to evolve and grow and learn as much as you can, experience as much as you can. And that's actually one of the things that changed my life so much, because I was so depressed before my spiritual awakening because I felt like I had no purpose. And I was like, what are my talents? I'm not good at anything. Like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm going nowhere in life. I don't see a future for myself. And when I started getting into like personal development and spirituality, that gave me a purpose. Like, that gave me something to like get excited to wake up and do. Like, I was suddenly excited to read. I was suddenly excited to like write in my journal, and it just like added a whole new meaning to my life. If you feel lost for any reason, then you do have a purpose, because we all have a purpose, and it's really just to exist and to live life and become our best selves.
Very true. Have you seen the new Disney movie Soul?
I have not.
Okay, that movie's really cute, but like,
oh, really?
kind of one of the messages in there is like not to get so wrapped up on your like one purpose or whatever,
okay,
that you forget to appreciate like the small moments in life, just like looking at the leaves blow
that's so
and things
cute.
like that. So
I'm
it's
glad
super
that they're
cute.
like teaching kids that.
Yeah. What would you say was the first thing that led you on your spiritual path? I would say my first LSD trip.
I had a
Can
feeling
I talk
you were
about
gonna.
that on your channel?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, because in high school I was just reckless, partying a lot. So the only reason I really took LSD was because I was like, whoa, I'm gonna trip out. It's gonna be so cool. Like, I wasn't actually seeking to go deeper. And then it just showed me like this whole new world of color. And then after that, I started reading on like chakras and astrology and all these things about the universe that I just like didn't even think about before. So that definitely like started the path.
And did it make you feel that universal love and oneness with everything?
Yeah, and I think it showed me like the vibrant colors of like nature, and after that
It made
I
you
like,
appreciate them.
yeah, I definitely like started my connection or relationship with Mother Earth, I guess.
That's beautiful.
How about you?
Honestly, watching other spiritual YouTubers, like, that's really what led me on my spiritual path. Like, watching people like Erin Dowdy, Leora Alexandra, Infinite Waters, Koi Fresco, Stargirl the Practical Witch. It's like once you start watching one, it like you end up watching all of them, and then you can't stop learning and you can't stop growing. So maybe that's why I feel so called to make YouTube videos, because that's how I learned in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to help other people wake up, and not just wake up, but like heal themselves and evolve, and because like that's what saved my life, I feel like, because I was so depressed before that my life just felt like it had no meaning until I was introduced to that world. So I feel like maybe that's why I want to make videos so much and why I'm so passionate about it, because I want to do the same thing for other people.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
What is your definition or experience of God? That is like a deep question. I don't believe that any one religion is wrong or right. Like, I feel like we all believe in the same God. I feel like we all believe in a higher power, a universal force that is bigger than us, that is kind of guiding us in a way and like giving meaning to our lives. And I would also say that God is source energy that connects everyone and everything. That's why we're all connected in every way. We all come from the same blueprint, the same source.
Yeah, I feel like I would say the same thing pretty much, that God is kind of like a universal love, like the source of all things. I don't think, he's necessarily just like one singular man or a singular energy in the universe. I think it's like encompasses all of the energy in the universe. Yeah, I don't know. It is like a very tough concept to think about, because I wonder too, if there is one God that is kind of like the main source of everything, are there multiple gods within that? Are there other gods outside of that universe or like realm of our knowledge?
And I'm very open to everything. I'm very open-minded. So like, I don't even want to sit here and give the definition of God, because I truly don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's what I would perceive it as, or what I would think.
Yeah. Like, I guess for me, when people say God is love and you should live your life according to God. For me, how I perceive that is you should live according to the universe, like what positively aligns with what is right for the universe, I guess. It's definitely a hard concept to define, and there's no right answer.
Yes.
What book would you recommend to someone that would change their life? The book that probably changed my perspective on life the most was probably Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It kind of is from the first person perspective of a guy who went through the Holocaust, and during that process he kind of showed how he found meaning and purpose to actually make it through that experience, because he saw so many people kind of like give up on life and kind of lose their sense of purpose, and so he shares how he got through that and he held on to his purpose.
That's incredible. I want to read that. I actually have it.
Yeah, that's a very inspiring one.
One would be Eckhart Tolle's teachings, The Power of Now and A New Earth. That just completely transformed the way that I looked at life and the way I looked at myself and the way I looked at struggle, the way I looked at highs and lows, just like accepting everything that is. Like, I think we too often see our life as like this long like destination, and we're like getting to this point where we're happy, and it's like, no, the point of your life is to just live this moment right now, experience every moment as it is, because you'll never be in this moment of time again. So that's kind of the basis of Eckhart Tolle's teachings. The other book that changed my life is Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, and I actually have a whole video on that, so I won't really explain that in this video, but if you'd like to see it, then check it out in the description. One more question. Last question. This is a good way actually to end it off. What is one piece of advice you would give to others who might be struggling on their spiritual path right now? Stop comparing your path to others. I think that's always like the main thing that hurts us in the end, is like constantly comparing our progress and our path to others, feeling like someone else is more evolved than us, or someone else is better than us, or someone else lives a more spiritual lifestyle than us. Like, spirituality means something different to everyone. Like, you don't have to be into the same things as someone else. You don't have to live the same life that someone else does. Stop even looking at what other people are doing. I mean, if it inspires you, then that's great, but like, stop paying so much attention to what everyone else is doing, because you would be so much farther along on your path if you placed your energy on your own path and not where everyone else is, you know?
Yeah, I guess to add to that, also a lot of times we think people are like doing amazing and we're like jealous of them or something, but we don't know what internal struggles or things like that they might be going through also.
Like, I'm a very good example of that, because I make so many videos about like how to not be depressed, how to like evolve yourself and all these things, and like I'm still struggling so hard with that myself behind the scenes, behind the camera. So no one is perfect and not everything is as it seems, you know?
I guess my one piece of advice would be to realize that growth is not linear. Like,
100%.
We both experienced that amazing awakening point, and it's not like things just keep magically getting better from there. There might be times you slip back down into a depression, or you feel like your progress is slowing down or maybe even going backwards, but sometimes things slow down or things get in the way, but most important is just to keep pushing through.
You just gotta ride the waves.
Yep.
All right, well, we've answered all of the questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it added value to you in any way possible. Comment down below and let us know the answers that you have to these questions. I would love to hear other outside perspectives on it. And definitely check out Marika's channel. She makes wonderful videos. Also, watch the video that we made on her channel. It's a lot more like fun and lighthearted than this video. Yeah, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my content. Like this video if you'd like to show support. And that is all I have for you in this video. I hope I see you in my next one. Peace, love, and light to you all.
Bye.